The Battle of Hunain. The Holy Prophet, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, departed towards Hunain on Saturday 6th Shawwal and reached Hunain on 10th Shawwal. Hazrat Salma and Hazrat Zainab, may Allah be pleased with them, accompanied the Holy Prophet, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, on this journey. It is recorded that the Muslim army was the largest it had been and the most equipped of all the battles that had been fought to that point. The Holy Prophet, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, set out with 12,000 Muslims, 10,000 companions from Medina, and 2,000 new Muslims from Mecca. Along the way to Hunain there was a large tree called Dhat Anwat, which was greatly revered by the idolaters. As the caravan passed by the tree, some of the Meccan new converts requested the Holy Prophet, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, to appoint a similar tree for them. The Holy Prophet, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, responded saying that they had said the same thing that the people of Moses, peace be upon him, had said. "O Moses, make for us a god just as they have gods," he said. "Surely you are an ignorant people." The Holy Quran, chapter 7, verse 139. The Holy Prophet, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said that they would have a similar fate to those people if they maintained the same mindset. Some from among the Meccans who weren't Muslims also accompanied the army. In fact, even some women accompanied the army out of their curiosity to see the result of the battle, thinking that if the Muslims won, then they would receive from the spoils of war. It is recorded that 80 idolaters accompanied the Muslim army. The Holy Prophet, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, did not seek the help of these people, as it was not his practice to include idolaters in the Muslim army. Not even in previous battles where the Muslims were much smaller in number. On 10th Shawwal, the Holy Prophet, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, arrived at Hunain. The Hawazin commissioned spies to find out more about the Muslim army. When the spies went back to their army, they were in a state of shock. They said that they saw white men riding their horses as if there was a battle they would not be able to contend. They said that if they were unable to fight those on earth, then how could they fight those in the skies? They advised to avoid any sort of battle. However, the leaders of the army suppressed this news so that it would not alarm the rest of the army. Instead, the Hawazin army sent one of their bravest men to also find out about the Muslim army. He returned and also said the same, that this army could not be defeated. However, Malik bin Auf was not bothered. Commentators believe that it could be that these people saw angels, or that God caused the awe of the Muslim army to be struck in their hearts. The enemy army numbered 30,000. Some narrations record 20,000, and some even 4,000. The explanation for this is that the actual number of soldiers in the army was 20,000, and if their women and children are included, then it becomes 30,000. There was also a contingent of archers, who Malik bin Auf hid in the valleys to wage a surprise attack against the Muslims, and this contingent numbered 4,000. The arrangement of the enemy army was that the horse riders were in the initial ranks, followed by those on foot, then the women and children upon camels, and behind them was their wealth and livestock. On the day of Hunain, one of the Muslims said that they would not lose on account of their large numbers. The Holy Prophet, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, did not like this statement, and the Holy Quran also records a disliking for this statement, in chapter 9, verse 25, where it is stated, "When your great numbers made you proud." There were 3 parts to the battle. The first attack launched by the Muslims, causing defeat to the enemy army upon seeing which some Muslims started collecting spoils. The second part was when the hidden contingent of archers launched a surprise attack against the Muslims, and in order to save themselves, the Muslims, including converts, ran to safety. This caused the Muslim army to disperse. The third part of the battle is when the Muslim army regrouped and waged a decisive attack, delivering the final blow to the Banu Hawazin. It is recorded that when the Muslim army dispersed, the Holy Prophet, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, remained firmly standing in the battlefield, and at one point was alone in advancing towards the enemy army. The Holy Prophet, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, instructed Hazrat Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, to call out to the Muslims who had pledged allegiance at Aqaba to return. Hearing this call, they raced back and started fiercely fighting against the enemy army. Some narrations record that at the time the Muslim army dispersed, there remained anywhere between 300 to 400 people around the Holy Prophet, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, at a given time. There are also narrations indicating that not everyone from the Muslim army fled, Rather, it was those who were not yet strong in their faith, such as those from Mecca who had only just accepted Islam.